Well, welcome to Wood Chip Woodworking. I hope everybody's doing well. Today we're going to do one of my favorite projects. It's a Peppermill. This is the kit that I've got. It's a top-loading Peppermill with the parts here. So we're going to do a Peppermill today. Do something that'll look something similar to that, but not quite like that. And this is our block of wood. So that's our project for today. So let's do a little housekeeping, as they say. Please feel free to share, subscribe, like. Welcome to the channel. And leave some comments below. And I understand that there's a new feature YouTube has called Skype. It's in the bar down below. Where it's share, where you can share it, comment, and all that. And there's a little button there. You got to do it within the first 7 days of the upload of the video. And that helps the algorithm grow. So please feel free to go Skype it. And that helps my channel and helps videos. And let me know what your thoughts are. So let's get started on our project today. This is a piece of curly maple. So I'm going to use this to do my Peppermill tonight. So hang tight. All right, so the first thing we got to do is we got to find our center of our block. So I'm just going to use crosshairs. Go across it like that. And this is a piece of, I think it might be a piece of firewood. I'm not real sure. I'm in that mood of doing some Peppermills, so now we got our centers. Let's put it between centers, and we'll make it round, put a spigot on the end, on both ends, and we'll drill our holes. That's our first step, and let's get started on that. So hang tight, and I'll get you set up so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so here we are. I'm going to put our block between centers. Don't think, I'm going to use that as the top, but at this point right now, I just need to get it round and get a spigot on both ends, so that I can hold it in my chuck. So, and I get to use my favorite tool, one of my favorite tools in what I'm turning, and that is a skew. So, and this is I believe it's like a 2-inch, let's see, get the dimensions on it. It's 2.5 by 2.5 by 5 inches long. So that's the size that we've got. So just in case. All right, so we're going to put our face shield on. Protect your eyes. And we'll go from there. All right. She's secure. Ready to roll. Let me give this a quick sharpen, and I'll be right back. Been using it to do some other stuff, so hang on, hang tight. All right, so we got a nice crisp, clean edge on it, and let's get started on it. See what we got. Here we go. I'll be running this probably somewhere in the range of, I don't know, 1,000 RPMs, and we'll go from there. So here we go. And same thing, go start from the center, work to the outer edge, as I always say. Don't pitch your cat backwards. And I just want to knock the corners off and make it round. I'm not getting anything carried away right now. basically got it round. And now I want to put a spigot on there. You see a few flat spot there, flat spot there. So I got flat spots there, which is not a big deal because we're going to put her in the chuck and then we'll get it round after that. So I'm going to put a spigot on the end. I'll tin it. Something to grab a hold of. One on both ends. I got my handy dandy little measuring stick here, and it's going to be close to fitting in my chuck. So I think I'm going to go down just a little bit this, and then I'll use my smaller jaws. So I'll take it down just a little bit more because I'll have to use my smaller jaws to hold this. No big deal. All right, got a tenon on both ends. So we'll take this off and I'll put my chuck on and we'll grip it and get ready to drill some holes. So hang tight and let's get started on the holes. All right, so I've got my piece in the chuck, and I've got 1.5 inch Forstner bit that will drill. And I'm going to bring this out so it's start at 1 inch. All right. So figure out how far down we need to drill. From the end down there, we're going to drill 1 inch hole down here. So 1 inch mark is right there. Okay. And so we need to drill this 1.5 inch down almost 4 inches. Yep, almost 4 inches. And the reason I'm going to drill the big one first is drilling it clear down here. And when I drill the little one, it goes through into the big one and I don't go too deep with a larger hole. That's one of the things I learned from my previous things. So I want to go down 4 inches. Measure that one last time. Yeah, 4 inches total. So here we go. And I'm going to run right around 200 RPMs. I got my quill set at 1 inch. And we're just going to now drill about a 1/2 inch, stop, clean off a bit. Clean it out. And go back in. Drill some more. There's 1 inch in. Go back. So that's 1 inch. So I can shove that up there. So another 1/2 inch. And go another 1/2 inch. So there's 2 inches now. Back to my 1 inch mark. Okay. Halfway there. Okay, there's a 1/2 inch. Get down there, you got to clean that out. So there's 3 inches. And there is 3.5. And you notice I got this here. I need to get rid of that so I can get my drill chuck down further. So what I'm going to do is take my spindle gouge and just lightly get rid of this. Like that. And now we'll continue to drill it down. And we're going to go down another 1/2 inch. And I'm not going to get it all the way with that. So I got to extend my bit out just a hair. Just so I can get down another 1/2 inch. There we are. So now I got it extended out. I got to be real careful with it. Okay. Here's my 1/2. So now I'm down 4 inches. Okay, I'll pull that out. Okay, so I'm down 4 inches. Now what I need to do is flip it around and go the other direction. So these jaws will have to go inside of that. So, taking cook these down, and I'm going to open it up so it goes inside the jaws. I'll go up against my chuck because I turned my tenon away. Part of the reason why I drill the big one first. So I put it right up against there. I'm going to use the point of my drill bit to center it. Make sure it's centered. And I'm expanding inside that. Okay, so now I got to switch out to my 1-inch Forstner bit. And this one I will drill down 1 inch till it goes through my 2-inch hole, or 1.5-inch hole. So like I said, I'll go down about 1/2 inch, and then I'll back it out, clean it out. Clean it out. That way the chips are gone. And you'll know when it goes through because you'll feel it break through. Like right there. It went clear through. And that's what we needed. So that takes care of that. Now, the other thing I need to do when I put this back between centers, I got to make sure this is square. So before I take it out of the chuck, I want to do that real quick. And I just use my spindle gouge with my face shield at. I'll take my drill chuck off too, so I'm not smacking my arm on the drill bit. And this is 1.5 and 1-inch Forstner bit. Okay, so I just need to clean up this edge and make sure it's square. Now the other thing that you got to think about is when you put this together, this needs to be flat. I might take that the rest of the way off. It needs to be flat because of this has got to bolt to that. So you want to bolt that, because if you look at the base of it, the base that goes in there, this piece here will fit inside of that, and then this will go onto the top. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get rid of this, and I might actually measure this and recess that in so this fits right down in there and I know it's centered. So let's get rid of the top of that real quick, and then we'll put it between centers on my mandrel and go from there. So I'm going to take that completely off. You got to be careful with this, because there's nothing holding this out here. I'll just do real light cut. Okay. So in order for this to fit in there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure across the end of this, and it is basically 2 inches. So since it's 2 inches, I'm going to grab me a 2-inch Forstner bit, and that'll make life easier. And I can go straight in with it. So let me grab a 2-inch Forstner bit. Okay, so I got a 2-inch Forstner bit here, and all I'm going to do is recess this just a smidgen so that that piece will sit down in there. So I'm going to recess that down into that. And I'm going to go down maybe a 1/4 of an inch. You just want to recess a little bit, nothing major. And it's just the wood spinning on the chuck. Yeah, that should be good. Okay, so then this piece here will set right in there nice and neat. Sets it down in there, and then it's even. I don't have to worry about it getting it off. It'll set right in there perfectly. All right, so there's that. Hang tight, and I'll set it up on the mandrel and show you what we got next. All right, so what we got here is my pen mandrel. I use this for my Peppermills, and I've got these little plastic things, inserts. They fit in the end of each one. So I got a 2-inch one down here and a 1-inch one here. So it sits inside and it's between centers basically, and I'll turn them this way so that I can shape them to the way I need to. So we got that done. So, and they're plastic, so if I hit them with a tool, no big deal. So I'm going to kind of follow the design that is on this one. I'm going to make this shape just because I can. So we're going to make that shape. I'm going to put my picture up here so I know what I'm looking at. Just something that I can follow. And let's go from there. So it's somewhat round, so I want to finish up rounding it off. And I got to remember this edge here. So face shield on. Got my skew. And this is the bottom of it, and this will be the top. So I want the top to be a little bit thinner than the bottom. So let's get it perfectly round and then go from there. So it might not end up being with the top there. I don't know. Let's see here. Okay. So I got the top of it round, and I got a flat spot right there. So I'm not going to concentrate on this more. I'll do this back here and get that down to there. So here we go. A little bit of a flat spot here still, right to there. So I'm going to take a little bit more off. Okay, I think that'll have that. Oh. All right. So now what I'm going to do is start my design on this. Drop my tool rest down. Got my spindle gouge, and I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way to the top. First thing I'm going to do is round that edge off. Okay. Let's get you a little closer so you can see better. Hang tight. All right, there you go. That's a little better job. You can see. All right. So what I did was I did a little bit right there. I'll do the same thing down at this end. It gives me my baseline of what I'm going to do. So So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to taper this all towards the center and make it down to the center. So what I want to do is measure to see my distance and then just put a center mark on it. So I'm going to go between these two here, and it's 3 inches, so 1.5 inches would be somewhere right in here. So that's going to be my center. And in here it's inch and a half, so I know I got to worry about how much meat I'm taking away there. So I don't want to go too thin on there, but yet I still want to go down and kind of taper that. So I'm going to use my skew, and I'm going to taper this down to that point. So here we go. So to do this, I'm going to go down there. going to do the same thing over here. And next thing I want to do is make a bead right there so that I got a good visual on it there. Now I'll taper that, my skew, and then I'll get that. Okay. Same thing down this end. That don't look too bad. Now, I need to go a little bit more because I'm looking at this and I see a little bit thicker here than there. So I'm going to take a little bit more off here. That's better. I like it. Now I'm going to come down here. So it didn't turn out exactly like that one. Kind of went in my own little way. So I'm just going to put this a little bit more detailed here. Okay. I actually think that looks pretty good just like that. So make sure I don't have any marks or anything in there. Got one right there I need to get rid of. So I need to clean that up just a hair. So I'm just going to yeah, that got rid of my mark. I'm in good shape. All right, so now I just want to do some quick sanding. And then we'll take it off there and put our chuck back on, finish both ends, clean them up, and we'll be in good shape. So let's get that. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take it off here and put it in the chuck and then sand it. So hang tight. Let's get her back in the chuck and go from there. So hang tight. All right, so I got it back in my chuck. Got my tailstock up to help support it. We're going to do some quick sanding. I'll run it in reverse in roughly about 200 RPMs. This shouldn't take much to sand. I'll get a quick sand on it. Because it's pretty good when I use a skew like that. I get a good clean cut. So this is 120. This is Vince's Wood Wonders sandpaper. I like this sandpaper. Got a foam back on it. Easy to handle. Does a pretty good job. I'll try to remember to leave a link to his website in the comment section if you're interested. He's got all kinds of other stuff in there too as well. Pretty good guy to work with. I've had him our club to do a demo. It doesn't sound like it'd be a good demo on sanding, but actually it turned out pretty good. So, and then what I'll do is I'll take my tailstock away and I'm just going to hit this right here. Make sure that's nice and smooth. All right, so that's my 120. Looks pretty good. And I'll do 150, 180, and 220. And I'll be right back once I get to 220. All right, so I just finished up my 220. And what I want to do next is I want to put some burn marks in between here and here, and just to kind of break it up a little bit. So I've got my burning wire here. And this is just a guitar string put between two dowels. So I'm going to do a burn mark there, on each side of that, and down there. So I put it at high speed. Just stick it in the groove till it starts smoking good, like that. Same thing there. And this is going to be the tricky one. There. And there. And then last one down here. All right. I think that looks pretty good. So the last thing I need to do is, since I got the top, I sanded the top and got it completely ready to go. So the last thing I want to do is turn it around, flip it around so I can finish off the base of it. So take this out, and I'm going to expand my jaws into that hole. So I go down, get it to fit, line it up with my tailstock to make sure it's centered. And I expand my jaws in there. And basically what I want to do is I want to countersink that just a hair. So I have to pull my jaws out. And I want to taper that so it's tapered in, because that'll set on the table. So I got my skew here, or my spindle gouge. And I'm just going to lightly, without tearing it out of the chuck, Just want to give it a convex shape in there. Like I said, I'm just barely touching it to get it concaved in there. There, that looks good. And now I'm going to do a quick sanding on the edge of that. And we'll basically put it together, a mock put together, but I'll take it and I'll polyurethane it with some poly. So it's protected, because people will handle these. So I want to be able to make sure that you know, the finish is good. It feels good when you finish it. I'm just sticking the sandpaper in there. Sand it down in there just about like so. It's 120. There we are. All right. So there's that. Now let's go over to the bench and we'll put it together and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all together. And then I'll put a coat of poly on it. So hang tight. All right, so here's all our parts. Let me open this bag up real quick. But all the parts, when you buy these kits, the Peppermills, they come with all the parts in them. There's even instructions in here to put it together. There's the instructions. Same paper I have over there. And handle. And it's got a set of screws in here. I'm not going to put the screws in right now, but this will go on top of there like so. And this is the grinding mechanism here. So this will come in from the bottom, goes up into there, and you want to recess this down in a good, maybe a quarter of an inch or so, just so it's down in there, something about right in there would be good. Then this will be on top. Okay, so I need to come down just a little bit more, because it's got to go through the top. Okay, so it's got to come in a little bit more. What I'm trying to do is put this in here, and you can see the top of it coming through. I made this one just a hair longer than I'd like, but that's all right. And it's close to going through. Oops, went too far that time. Yeah, way too far. So yeah, so to go together like so, then you put your nut on top, and that's what the Peppermill will look like. So put your peppercorns in here, and fills up the whole cavity up in here, and then when you grind it, it comes out the base down there. So, but you put your screws in here, you put this on top of there. So in a sense, basically the first thing you're going to do is set this on top of here like so, drill your holes, put these two screws in here, and then once you get that in there, then you push your mechanism up through the bottom and put this on the crank on top, Put your little nut on top of that, and you got yourself a finished Peppermill. And then to adjust the fineness, you just torque this down, and it tightens up the grinding mechanism to get a finer grind. So there's our Peppermill. Like I said, it's not put together because I'm going to take this over and I'm going to put a couple coats of polyurethane on it. That'll make this grain pop, and then we'll assemble it just as that right there. So I'll glue the base in place, and we'll go from there. So hopefully you enjoyed that video. This video, it's a pretty good video. Let me know what your thoughts are, comments, concerns, and I'll leave a link to Vince's Good Wood Wonders for the Peppermill, or for the sandpaper, and I'll leave a link to this kit from Penn State. I believe it's who it's from. I'll tell you in 1 second here. Yep, Penn State Industries right there. So I'll leave a kit and all the information there, and let me know if you try this, and we'll go from there. Obviously, I made this blank just a little longer than I should, but it was already pre-cut, and I just turned it the way it was. So I've got shorter blanks that I'll make with it, and we'll go from there. So please feel free to share, subscribe, like, and don't forget that Skype channel, Hype, I think it is called, in the bar right below the video. Link that, or click that, and it'll make the channel grow. Have a good night. Talk to you soon. Bye.